Yeah, good day, my people. Thank you very much for being part of this very moment. And like you all know, I am Watch Kurumana. I think we better do a little analysis one more time about what is going on within the Biafran struggle. We always need to have an office that will be doing the checks and balances of what is going on. And I believe I have the audacity, the capacity, and I'm able to do that analysis of what is going on, being someone who have great interest and who is intimidated, great values to what is going on. Now, what we are going to do now is to assess all the groups to know exactly how they stand, whether what they are telling us is what is really going on, whether that is what they are doing. First of all, this is 2017, and we are being promised that 2017 we are going to see a referendum. It's a good step to take, but we need to pay attention if these promises are being really followed. I think the Lower Niger made this very announcement 2015 that 2017 first quarter will be a referendum, and this is 2017, and I believe that from January to March at least we are ending, if not being in the middle or the last stages of the second quarter. We are almost there. By now we are supposed to be seeing developments on how the referendum is being prepared. But if you go into the Lower Niger referendum website, we have tried to study to see if there's anything going on. We try to follow the Secretary General himself, is right up on social media to see how far they are going towards this very arrangement of calling for a referendum to be held first quarter of this very year. And we are really on that first quarter. There is a lot of ideologies out there. There is a lot of intelligent Biafran men and women. There is a lot of things being prepared to secure the freedom of Biafra. But a lot of things are being said. What I am doing now is following up to see whether those things that we have been promised are being followed. Now, and to also find out the reasons why it's not been possible for those who make those promises to follow it up. Is it intentional or is it accidental that they could not be able to meet up the demands? As for that of the Lower Niger, it is not only occurring in within the Lower Niger that they couldn't execute or they will not be able to execute their plan for the 2017. But let's look back again to a promise we've once had about RBL and Namdekano also promised us 2015 that we will achieve Biafra. We are 2017 now. It is obvious that that very promise has elapsed with 2 years. And nobody is asking questions. Why? And what next is to do? What is the next program? We keep following sheepishly. When they fall into pit, we fall into pit with them. If they manage to crawl out, we crawl out with them, and we keep moving without saying, wait a minute. Are they really living up to the expectations of what they told us? What I'm saying this is that I personally have tried in so many ways to build up ways to see if we can come into unification. But I will put up those plans, why they didn't work, and what is actually going on, and what I have in my mind again now to tell my people about what I think is going to be a perfect way to solve the problem, the division, the catastrophe that is going on within our movement. Now, the Bilie human right is in court also with the name IPOB under Emeka Esiri. Actually, there's no promise of when actually are we going to get the freedom we are looking for. But the stage is still going on. Now let's come to the main issue of why I am here. The issue is that Nnamdi Kanu said we get Biafra 2015. He did not achieve that dream, but he did something very, very remarkable. Something that is now the talk or the foundation or the symbol of Biafra. He gave himself, or he was caught due to how he went about it. But today, lo and behold, one thing that the international community is recognizing is that our people are not able to recognize their own symbol. If you've been following me right from 2011 to 2012, 13, you see that I was very critical about Nnamdi Kanu, not him as a person, but about the strategy he was applying. I said it, I continue to say it. If he comes out today and applies the same system, that strategy of violence, that strategy of intimidation, abuses, I will still be against him. I will still criticize him. But the fact is that the stage now has really changed to a different stage where it is not even about what I will say about him. He is now recognized as the symbol. That is the will of God. And the international community is recognizing him as the symbol. And they are very, very concerned that the people of Biafra themselves doesn't recognize their own symbol. There is a meeting of the international communities that are going on right now. It's nothing to do with all these leaders of these groups that say they are this and that. But there is a delegation of Nigerians and Biafrans with 8 delegations from the international community that are meeting right now. They met on Sunday. They continue to meet to evaluate. Now the question is, what does the international community know individually among the delegates and nationwide? What they know about the Biafra movement? The question is also asked, which of these groups have, if the international community have endorsed any of these groups? I will be telling you the answer to that is no. But they actually knows a lot of all these groups. Some of these leaders have actually having partial contact with some of the leading figures in the world. But there is no generally approved or endorsed Biafran group by the international community. But the international community recognizes our symbol, and that symbol is Nnamdi Kanu. Now, what I'm saying is, we have seen our people from Wazirike time set a stage, set an agenda with hope, raise hope, morals of people. People hope in the next 2 years, 3 years that the freedom is going to be achieved. It has never happened now till about 20, 21 years and counting. It's not a problem, as it's a problem also. But it is not the end of our quest or our struggle, or even the end of our strength. We keep fighting. Now, we have tried in so many ways to arrange unity meetings, hoping that unity meetings will get us to where we are going. That when we come united, then we can march and have one voice. We have also experienced that calling these unity meetings has not worked out the way we expected. We have from there calculated also into looking into other things that has been happening in freedom fighting movement like this across the world, and come to conclusion that these things happen. There are always fractions and fractions, groups different with opinions, with ideologies. We are trying to find out if that is the case. How is it going to be possible for a people looking for a freedom like we are doing to come up responsibly to the eye of the international community? This is a big question. How will we make it work if what we are doing is no different from what other people have done around the world? And sometimes most of them have gotten it. Why are we not getting it when we are still on that same pattern? The pattern I mean, break up factions, different ideologies and strategies. At last, they summon it up somehow and they get their freedom. But with us, we have break up factions. We have groups and groups and groups everywhere. But one thing we have not been able to catch up how to do it is to summon it up together and get our freedom. Like I said, calling of unity meetings. I have even initiated with a unity meeting that I intended to call leaders meeting. I had the idea that the problem we are having is based on the ideologies and the way the group leaders disseminate their information to their members. So I decided to say maybe it will be best when the leaders lock up themselves and come up with a form of unification, then we, the members, can follow them without one voice. Up to the extent that I even laid down a strategic plan on how to get there. I said if we had up to 20 groups, then each group can bring out two people to form a central government that will also otherwise become the governing body of the Biafran movement. If these groups bring out two individuals from their groups, these individuals will report back what happens in a general meeting. This idea was carried to a meeting in Ghana. This idea has been repeated about 1 or 2 weeks ago again in form of a unification meeting at home. We saw that anytime a unity meeting is being called, you see some groups will comply, some will not. The ones that comply will come up, everybody coming up with good words, good speeches of togetherness. But once they go home, they keep on carrying that same agenda. Now, we saw within the time of Nnamdi, there was a lot of abuses, insults, threats. Our people sought a kind of way to say, okay, let's curtail this kind of insult and shaming ourselves on social media. Today, I can verify that a lot of these different groups are joined in one WhatsApp community or another. Now, what you find out, because we try to say, okay, let's stop the insult. Now, I found out that in one group where so many groups are contained online or WhatsApp or somewhere else, you find out that when somebody posts something that is contrary to the belief of the other brother, sometimes you hear they just write a write-up, that is, he just don't want to go there, which is nice, which is understandable. We are trying now to discipline ourselves, to belong together, to at least hear what the next brother have to say. Now, the acceptance becomes the problem, because each one of us still belongs or depends on the ideology that is coming from our individual groups. I have a wonderful phone call with a brother this morning, and that phone call has a lot to do with the ideology that is running around in my head now that I wish to share with the Biafran people. And I know that this doesn't work. There is nothing else that will work for us. So many people say, Emmanuel, go and open up your group. We don't need to start opening up groups. We need to fortify. We need to follow. We need to plan ahead with the ones we have already. We need to give them a helping hand to see if we can help achieve it. We know that group formation has a kind of divided us, but we know that it's also difficult for people to close up those groups as at now. So we call on everybody to hold their peace. You can have your group where it is, but there's something very important now that I want to reveal to our people. Since I've been in the movement of this freedom, I have been always looking for a way where we can come together. Now, the meeting in Ghana, which was planned to bring out two representatives from each group to form a central unit, it's never worked. They tried one at home now. It's not working because the people still believe in the ideologies of their group. Like what I said about the WhatsApp group. That gave me a very good and a chilled moment to think, what actually can we do? But there is something to do, and I'm going to reveal it. Now, what is there is this. Because we have now tried to curtail ourselves, not to insult ourselves anymore. Because now we can now listen, even if we don't accept. Because now we can now reason to some limit about what our next brother says. The only way now for us to achieve it, because I was discussing with a brother this morning. He said, he's in these groups when they say things like this, these are his brothers, these are his friends, the people he knows very well. When they say these things, he has nothing to say against it, but he cannot accept it. Okay. Now the game, what we have to do, if we cannot bring out two representatives from all groups to form a union, what we can do is believe in all strategies that is out there. I have decided if I should, and I think this is going to be better done by the leaders, if Masob and the IBM, there was Rike Masob and Uchenna Madru Masob, if the RBL, if the Lower Niger, if the Bilie, the other IPOB, no matter how many they are out there, says, okay, we are not going to be in one group, but at any time there is any kind of function that is being laid out by any group, the rest of the groups, the people in the groups support what each and every group is doing. Because I see now that what we are doing is we are instead denying what each and every group is doing, even if we are not insulting ourselves, even if we are not fighting again. We have just stopped by, okay, I can listen to you, but I can't agree with you. Now let's say all of us agrees to everything that is out there. For example, the Bilie say they are in court. The IPOB, the Masob, the Lower Niger, all of them now say, okay, we support these people. If there's donation, the IPOB as organization, the Masob as organization, all these people bring money for that. Now the Lower Niger says there is a referendum to come. You ask your brother, what have you laid down of your plans? What support can our group give to your group? You make the leaders ask their people to register for the referendum that Lower Niger is calling. The IPOB radio advertises the referendum that the Lower Niger is calling. The BVI advertises that freedom. Now we talk about Nnamdi Kanu. Why all these things are not possible? Because each and none of the groups can go it alone. The Lower Niger cannot operate any referendum this first quarter of 2017. That is obvious. You can watch their website and see that there are no preparations. It's not working. Nnamdi Kanu couldn't give us Biafra 2015 because the rest of the people did not support. Not everybody, the groups are scattered and at the same time tackling. Not only that they did not support at that time, We have lived through the process of even people trying in every way possible to damage, to stop the other man from being that champion. It became a competition among the leaders that if I don't win, you can't win. Now, there's something we can do. Now, about Nnamdi Kanu, there's something again people don't understand. Every day we are in court. Our people support the court case. It is okay. So many people have called me. They say, Emmanuel, why don't you speak out to follow among the voices to say Nnamdi Kanu, releasing Nnamdi Kanu? It's not a problem to say that. But before you say that, you really need to evaluate what situation, what time is it, what's really happening. Now, that's why I said Nnamdi did not give us Biafra 2015 as he said, but he did one thing that is wonderful, remarkable. He's hanging there now and the world has recognized him as a symbol. The international community recognizes what we never recognized. Now, if we are coming together, if each and every one of us are believing what is in the other group, we will automatically see ourselves in the unity. If they believe we support what IPOB have laid down, if IPOB will support what Lower Niger, if Masob will support what Nnamdi Kanu, then you see that if each and every one of you will support all groups, it means that I have to support Masob, I have to support Bilie, I have to support IPOB, I have to support likewise you. If I do that, that means I will be friendship with everybody that is involved in all these groups. I will have no reason to be aggressive or to be against or to threaten my brother who is in another group because I'm also in that group with all my mind, with all my spirit, with all my power. Now, if this formation is going on, about Nnamdi Kanu is something we don't really understand what is going on. And we really need to understand that before we can start thinking about what's the next thing to do. Nnamdi is there as a symbol. Nigerian government made him the symbol. Nigerian government regrets the day they arrested him. Now, it is now the only bargaining chip that the Nigerian government has. We have to put that in our head. Listen to this. Nnamdi Kanu is the only bargaining chip Nigerian government has. If Nigerian government releases Nnamdi Kanu today, you have given ticket to Biafra. If that is the case, the question becomes, will Nigerian government give up that chip with support they have from the international community? Because the international community have not endorsed any of the Biafran groups, they will not give up that chip. So, saying there's a court case, they release five warrants or five, what do you call it, on Nnamdi there was 11, they released 5 or they released 6, it's remaining how many? It's just like when you are playing chess, you know, the game is not ended yet. It's just a kind of to make you happy. While you are still in the same hole. Only one count charge can still, it's the same equivalent. For me, it's the same as 20. If that one will make you remain there, and 20, it's the same thing, he's still there, even if they move 6, even if they move the whole 10 and they remain 1, he's still there. That's why I say we should pay attention when we are being played on. The Igbo man has been the fathers of game work when you talk about playing people on your brain, on their brain. I believe even that we can, through our intelligence, steal or play by game or by what they call 419, we can use it, 419 Biafra out. We can use that criminal intelligence they say we have to manipulate any other person out there. We used it at the time to become the most corrupt country in the world. They said it for bad, yeah. But that is the time you can use your bad knowledge to do a good job. I believe that the wisdom of our people is enough, is capable enough. Listen, we played games. I played game in Africa. Because we had the kind of people I met in my time of working out 1 + 1 to make 2 before you could be able to have something. How much more to eat? How much more before you can buy clothes? You can think of buying cars, because you can think of buying houses and coming overseas and making a family. I met a lot of wonderful brain workers that I believe if you join wisdom to intelligence, we get what we want. I'll make people know we have very intelligent men, very brilliant men, very successful doctors and engineers that are ruling the struggle, but these men are not wise. There is difference between rich, educated, intelligence, smartness, brilliance, and wisdom. You don't read that from school. You don't get it because you're a lawyer. You don't get it because you're a doctor. It doesn't work that way. Oyibo came, they fooled us. They told us that education is wisdom. Okay, when somebody has money, we believe he knows something. When somebody is a doctor, we believe he knows something. When somebody is a lawyer, unless he is, we will not say. It doesn't mean that these people doesn't have anything to do with us. They have a lot of articulated write-ups to do for us. But who are the people who are going to put these things in order? These are the brain workers. And they are scattered there in Igbo land. They are not given that opportunity to come out because they will be fooled. They will be saying, oh, Abela Diego. There are people who are not even involved in the money. But what I am saying, in essence, is that we have the opportunity to make this happen. If only you, me, your brother, your sister can belong to all groups. If only we can force our leaders to accept, engage with other groups, to make their, at least, make them relevant. It's been problematic for me sometimes to talk with people who don't believe in what I believe. I've been thinking about this. It's worrying some because it doesn't go well when he doesn't believe on what I believe. That means we don't need to speak no more. It's been going on in the struggle that a lot of people have become enemies. But now it's time to have a rethink. If me, I belong to IPOB, I belong to Masob, I will do everything Masob wants. As Nande is talking about referendum now, all of us will register, whether you belong to Masob, whether you belong to this, whether you belong to that, we register for that referendum and make it happen. How much more it did not work, then we know that we have done an assignment for the Lower Niger. And that brings us more together. We did it all, but it didn't work out. It's a different statement that we were scattered, we were confused. Then we wait for another state, another group that has anything to bring out there to say, this is a system, a tactics that I have found out. We have worked on this, let's try it. Then the groups go behind again, they gather. Group A, Group B, Group C, what have you got? What have you got? What have you got to help this very situation? Doing that, you see us automatically and unknowingly coming together that we will need a delegation to save Nnamdi Kanu's problem. And that delegation needs to talk to the international community. That delegation, we do not have it. Nnamdi Kanu told people, even before he went to prison, that Nigeria is a country where there is no law, there is no rule, there is no understanding to anything. I wonder how you think that same no country that have no rule, no law, no understanding, will release Nnamdi, who is the last chip of bargaining they have to lose the nation. Now, Nnamdi Kanu issue, they can engage a hook on their throat. But mind you that hook on their throat will not kill Nigeria. Nigeria have been having broken leg, broken arms, broken chin, everything, and they keep swampling. So, but Nnamdi has done a great blow. Hook is on their neck. But mind you, Nigeria is ready to live with that hook. Nigeria is a country that is immune with suffering. Nigeria is a country where suffering is their name, is their mission, is their ambition, is their way of life. So they will survive with that hook if you don't do something else. If you are waiting for them to release Nnamdi in court, giving you that hook, because once they do it, not that people misunderstand me, they say, oh, you don't want Nnamdi to come out. It's not about what I want, it's about the possibilities. What is the reading of the people, their enemies? What are they thinking? What is their own plans? You have to work on your own plan and at the same time try in any way, shape or form to enter into the brains of your enemy, to just try to articulate a little bit of how they might be thinking, their possibility. So knowing that, if we are sure that Nnamdi Kanu released today is a gateway to Biafra, it is sure. So will Nigeria do it? Will Nigeria allow you that gateway? Do you think they will do that? If you are thinking so, that means you are fooling yourself with emotions. They are not going to do it. We have to resolve to another plan. We have to leave them just square away, oh yes member for their court. Not that you have hope. Become an OES member. Watch them, support our brother, give him what he wants, visit him so that he feels powerful, but we have to be doing something behind. And that thing we need to be behind is having a good delegation among all these wise men, sorry for saying wise, but intelligent men who are running all these groups. The compilation of the strength, the smartness, the brilliance, the intelligence owned by Tony Nadi, Emeka Esiri, Nnamdi Kanu, Uche Mefo, all of them who are having one group or other, the combination of their brilliancy will bring about wisdom, will be equal to wisdom, because none of them are wise. But they are good people, they are intelligent, they are educated. That is what is happening. The moment these people can start to help one another, the more, and we are the only people who will make them do that. It is you, me, we, who are the followers, we make them start to support one another's propositions, agendas. Once they start to doing it, you see that they will come to a position where all these leaders who are supporting one another will send out a delegation to go on the real key, which is the symbol, which is Nnamdi Kanu hanging there, the hook in the throat of Nigeria. We really need a knife now to cut off that throat and bring out our hook. If you leave it there, Nigeria will carry it and they go on and on and on. Those people, they are the king of suffering. They are the president of Nigeria for as long as you know, but watch their own area. They still live in poverty. It is their way of life. They survive, they grow fat in suffering. So even if we don't take care, that they know how to manipulate it. If you leave it there for a long time without finishing it up, they will revise and use that tackle and do whatever that is going to be harmful to us. It is high time it is high time me. Why I'm saying this is because all the whole promises that have been given to you by all these leaders, if you have to do the check and balance, you find out they are not keeping it. And you cannot be working with people who are not keeping the check and balances and you're just working sheepishly. With them. How long will we continue to do that? No matter how smart, how brilliant, how intelligent you think this man are, watch what they told you, whether they are living up to it. Now they say 2017 there will be referendum. We love him when he writes, he articulate. That is all the Cataronian. Yeah, they will waka and waka or even on a leave up to it. But what you are telling us, why are you not living up to it, is because we don't have general support of ourselves. That is why he cannot live up to it. It is sometimes not even his own fault. Nnamdi couldn't live up to what he told us. He told us that 2015 we'll get Biafra. We are in 2017, of course. But for one thing, why he becomes and remains the champion to date is because he hooked himself there. That is why now he's the champion. That is why now the international community even recognizes him. That is why me, Nwachukwu Emmanuel, who was a critic of Nnamdi Kanu, will come out today and tell you, let's fall in line and recognize our symbol. Because I don't believe in having enmity with anybody for any reason. What we were mistaking ourselves for were ideologies. We called ourselves enemies while we are brothers. But I'm happy our people are coming back to understanding that we are brothers. Like what I said, now there are no much insults. Too much insults, I don't see them in the groups. They just ignore your write-up if they don't want to be concerned. That is good. But it still makes us, it still can't take us to where we're going. It's better when we start to accept what your brother say. If I'm discussing with you now, you are Faru BL, I am of Bilé, then you are telling me of the position of Bilé, I should accept it with all my mind and all my strength and all my encouragement. And I'm telling you now the position of Bilé, you should be accepting it in all my, ask me what to do to support what I'm saying. I will ask you, what do I do to support? If it's coming up, make some donations if you can, if you feel that's what you're going to do. But what we want is that the leaders themselves to be engaged in this activity of saying whatever any group is doing out there, we know what the groups are engaged to, we know the activities. So why is your leader not supporting the activity of the other group? Let's force them to support these activities. Let's force them to donate. Not individually. If you are donating to your own individual group, when is activity coming from another group, your group is supposed to make a donation to that group. Likewise, every other group do it to ourselves, vice versa. We can't get unity by calling for unity meeting. Uchem Namad, the last unity meeting, Uchem Namad made a very good statement. Even up to the fact that he can even abandon the name Masor, which can be a little bit just for me, it's a good move. If other people will allow it, if we will make the example, but it cannot even work that way. If he does it, the next person will not do it. The next person does it, another person, 2, 3, 4 people, they will spoil it on the way. It can't work that way. So we better forget about thinking that there's any way that we can have one group. We have investigated that. We found out that it doesn't work. Everywhere in the world, it never worked. We only need to apply a system. I tried to apply a system of, say, having a unity meeting where among 20, 40 groups, each group bring out two individuals to become representatives of. That meeting was held, one in Spain, the second in Ghana, the third now was held last 2-3 weeks in Enugu also. I don't know, just not quite long time ago, where Uche Namadu made that statement. But once they go, they will come there, you see wonderful people, you see concentrated people, you see action, but the ego, the group mentality must be there. The only thing we do is how to go over that group mentality. That is the system now I am talking about. We have found out that the groups cannot join, the groups cannot bring out representatives, so let them just be. But make sure your own group is supporting what the next group is doing. That is the way the Roa Niger referendum of 2017 could have been possible. That is the way the Emeka Esiri court case could have been valid more than what it is today. Today, since how many years I know that court case, they are still talking about who is the complainant and who is the defendant. They don't even know who they are themselves up to today. Even the Nigerian lawyer, even the Biafran lawyers, I'm only hearing today is the court case. They are talking about where it's going to be the decision, who is going to be our lawyer, who is our representative. These people are confused because they don't have support of the masses. Nnamdi Kanu could have achieved his aim if the people, everybody is with him. The unity we need is the unity of ideology. Ideological unity. That's what we need. Not a unity of coming together in just physically the way we think it can work. The unity we need is ideological. A unity where you support any ideology that is out there. As long as we know that if you tear apart all these groups, all of them are talking, no matter whatever the system, the way they want to go about it, they are talking Biafra. So what do? You are for Biafra. That means you are for all these groups. But you have where you pay your allegiance to. That means that is where maybe you put your contributions. I didn't say you have to donate to Masob, you have to donate to Nnamdi Kanu, you have to donate to Bile. No. If you are within Nnamdi Kanu, you are donating your money to Nnamdi Kanu's RBL, do that. If you are doing your own with Bile Human Rights, do that. If you are doing with LNC, do that. But make sure that your leaders recognize what the other groups are doing so that they can help financially, morally, physically to support whatever action every other or any other group brings out. If we miss this opportunity, if we think that there's any form of unity, if we think that one group can do it alone, well, that means we have not been learning our lessons. That means that we are happy in staying where we are, repeating of this very class, the class of destruction, class of tomorrow, another group, emergence of group to group to group. Please, my people, time have come for us to think. It depends on you. Let me tell you something. The meeting that is going on now in the international community, the information coming there is sketchy. The agreement that might be reached there might not be to our very utmost favor if we don't have our own Biafran aspired delegation. The delegations that are there now are being chosen because they found nobody among the Biafran organizations. They found nobody in the sense that they have endorsed none. Like I said, they have some, in one way or the other, encountered with some of these leaders. Some also who told you they have contact with these leaders has nothing to do with them at all. Although the information, what they are doing is reviewing what they know themselves, what their nations know about Biafra, what they are willing to endorse. And the only thing I'm telling you is that what they recognize is our symbol for now. And that symbol they recognize is Nnamdi Kanu. And at the same time, they put up a note there that we have not recognized our own symbol. It's a shameful thing. If we, like I said, come together in that very unity of ideology, in the way that we support everything every other group is doing, we will come out with unification, automatic unification. And then we will start talking about having our own agitative delegation to go and be among. I can make that contact because I have the links to the meeting that is going on there. That is not in the hands of all these leaders. Call them barrister this, barrister that, doctor this. They don't know what is happening. Actually, I can tell you that. If you think I am misleading you, I want you to, the most recent event that is being planned now is the Lower Niger referendum to give Biafra. Nnamdi's own case is a different thing, that Nnamdi is a bargaining chip that when he comes out, you have a ticket for Biafra. But that bargaining chip, if you are intelligent, you know that Nigeria is not ready to give it away. So the next thing you are thinking about if you are looking for freedom is the nearest action, point of action, which is the Lower Niger referendum. But today, watch it. There is nobody supporting it. He's there bragging that he has the people when you don't have the people. He writes articulate materials and posts for us online. People clap their hands for the write-ups. But go there on the Lower Niger website, you find out that there is no plan in the making for a first quarter referendum. And this site have donation button where people have been putting in money for 2 years now. Because that very advertisement, that very publicity came out as of 2015. And since that time, the site has been running, meaning it has been active and people have been donating money. But I'm not saying they did any bad thing or they ate the money. But because the money is not going to be sufficient, because the people are not fully in support, the money they get is going to be automatically misused. Because they cannot do the mission. That is the nearest action point that we think we have. The next action point that people really hold in hand is Nnamdi Kanu. And that action point, I give you the lowdown of what is happening. It is the only bargaining chip that the Nigerian government have. The international community knows it. They support it. They support it in the sense that Nigeria shouldn't give it away. At the same time, they know it's worrisome that if you don't give it away, something is going to happen. That's why what I'm saying, the meeting that is happening now is happening. But I don't think it's going to come out something that is not going to be exactly what we want. The Nigerian delegation is there. The Easterners are there, but not the people we are thinking of. The international community is there. Now this is a bargain that they are all finding the middle ground. Middle ground in the sense that they have to please the Nigerian government. They have to please the Biafrans. And at the same time, they have their own interest. When you look at this, you know that this is not going to be an easy meeting. It's not going to be a just cut and carry Biafra and give them. No, it's not going to work like that. The meeting I'm talking about just started. And I'm telling you, might last another 3, 4, 5 years before they can start making something up that looks like a reasonable agreement. First of all, they might come into conclusion of say, let's get them now the best arrangement that agrees, these people agree, Nigerian, Biafra, and we agree is giving them true federalism. Then you see these leaders of all these Biafran groups will start running around. That's not what we wanted. That's not what we bargained for. You didn't bargain, of course. You weren't there. And then another improper move will start to upload himself from our area when the international community and the Nigeria and the Biafran in delegation that are just there come to that conclusion through federalism. What do? I believe it should be one that at least the agitating groups should know about and agree with. Not just people who are obsessed. Our own people, the Igbos, the Queries, the Jaws, the Easterners that are in that very meeting, they are well-to-do, they are able men, they are intelligent, they are intellectuals, but they are not the people in the forefront of the struggle. Maybe it's good, maybe it's not, but I don't know. But what I'm saying is, the earlier our people start getting ready to join that forum, the better. And the only way you can get ready to be able to be admitted into that forum, because the people, the international community saw all this Lower Niger, they saw all Barrister Emekesiri, they have encountered some of them in one way or the other, but not directly in the pursuit of Biafra. They saw all of them, They never called them. They didn't call them. They recognize, they know what they are doing. They have some of their layout of plans. They study it. They have studied Biafra. Some of them have studied Biafra from 1967 to this time. Some of them knows Owazirike. But they didn't call all these people because they don't want to endorse any group at this moment without the general unification in an ideological sense of our people. Based on information I have, based on what I know is happening in the Western world and the international community here on Biafra. Know that the Nigerian government, it happened like this, will never release Nnamdi Kanu. Hear it well, it's not that because Nwachukwu Emmanuel don't want Nnamdi Kanu to come out. I am the first person who will want him to come out. Because I know that if he comes out, we are back home. But it's not going to happen as easy as we are expecting. By them giving up themselves. That is only what I want to make known to our people. We need to fight more. I want you to understand that Nnamdi Kanu in detention is to a hook on the neck of Nigeria. I also want you to understand that Nigeria lives with such inflation on them, irrespective of how deep, because they are bounded with suffering. They are pleased with, I don't know, I don't know where these people come from in the first place. This nation, Nigeria, is something that is completely unimaginable. In the world, we have people who sing music, praise, songs of praises to their nation. But look at the kind of music that our people are now motivated to play. They are not wrong doing that at all. It is what the government has given them, what the government has shown them, what the nation has taught them to. Listen to this. Let's just hear this. It's just for a little minute. This kind of song we hear up and down. I hope all of us can hear the message in this very song. It's not a pleasant message for a citizen to sing for his nation. Of course, for so many people, it's no longer their nation. But that kind of song, people sing song about Germany. A German citizen sings a song about German. An American, a Chinese, Hollandian, or whatever, whoever they are from which nation, they sing songs of praises, patriotism to their nation. My people, I don't know how far I will go to say this, but I think the message that our people are supposed to start spreading out now is to accept all groups. Let all of us belong to all of the groups. And you see that we are one. I will be a brother to you. You will not have reason to argue me. You will not have reason to go against me. If me and you are in Masol, if me and you are also in IPOB, under Nnamdi Kanu, if me and you are also in the same IPOB, the ideology here, I receive it, I keep it. I have a box for that very ideology of Nnamdi Kanu. I have also a box of Lower Niger Congress. You have also the box of Masol. All these things, you pack them, each one. When a friend of Lower Niger comes to discuss with you, you pull out that boss and discuss with him based on that. Then, among all these bosses, you can have your most lovely boss where you add your own contribution in form of maybe physical, finance, or moral. Then the leaders of all these bosses that you have around you will make sure that once any of these bosses have anything that is going to help the whole bosses, because all the whole bosses are looking for just one thing. So anything any other boss helps the other boss is helping that boss to get to the boss top. The refusal of one another's plan is the beginning of our stupidity. The whole education, the whole brilliance, the whole intelligence, the whole smartness of all these doctors, engineers, this and that, for me, goes to gutter. If there is no attachment of wisdom, which is the thing that the black man, and among the black man, the Igbo man, that is our market to sell to the world. Wisdom. But today, the Igbo man, they are most confused because we believe in what the white man said. Like I said, white man came, they told us that education is wisdom. Education not got wisdom. And now I'm wisdom na school. And then went there and a degree. All and then wisdom. All these brilliant educated men we have in Biafran struggle. If they had wisdom, they will know that they should start supporting one another. If wisdom was as good as education, smartness, brilliance, and the intelligence, you will not have a president of United States from the time he started to the last one, Donald Trump. Whenever they come on the podium to be inaugurated, mind you, these are people who are rich, very rich people. These are people who are very educated, very intelligent, very smart people, very brilliant people. You can't be any other thing better than that to get a United States presidency. But once they come to that podium of inauguration, they are giving prayers of wisdom. If education was wisdom, there was no need to give them prayers of wisdom. Our people also have fallen that very, very trick of believing that today, ma DR, ma engineer, ma doctor, ma barrister, ma ikwego, ma jeep, ma ikwe abeg that's that ke on akoya. A wise man, Anna, they are the richest man in the world. A wise one will not be the most educated in the world. A wise man will not be the biggest. He will just be the most standard, the most happy, the most understanding. The man knowing him correct. Oga want a poor man. He is not supposed to be poor if he's wise. But he's not supposed to be the richest. It doesn't make him the richest. The richest have not got anything. The most educated has not got anything to do with being wise. Why? Wisdom is according to your communication with God. It's only the spiritual of God that gives you wisdom. You don't learn it from your school of education. Anybody who tells you that is fooling you. If you also believe that, that is why you are being fooled every day, because you take those people who have those degrees, those kind of cash, to high esteem where they are not. So my people, well, the information I am relating in this very broadcast is only two. I want to make people know, okay, there's a lot of things you could take out from that, but the information is only two. Information to know, for you to know about what the international community is doing and what they believe about us, and also for us to start belonging to every other group. All of us belong to one group. But there are other things you can learn about it. To know, to put in your head that the court system in Nigeria will not free Nnamdi Kanu. It's not that it doesn't mean we will not support or we will stop going to court. We will go, we will support, we will do anything. But in the back of our head, we're supposed to know that Ahaga are happier. Don't fool yourself. There is no pressure for them. They know how to escape this pressure. Nigeria have been living with this. Nigeria is used with this pressure. And as much as how an ebuta ihe niile no Nigeria na ebiga ndị ọcha support them. Forget about that. Oh, come, we want you to. Even if they do it, I'm a man ebu amansi. I am to say that the wisdom of the black men, or especially the Igbo men, was to be enough for us to understand mbola na ebu amansi. Mbola eji anyị na-eme ịkọ. That's what they are doing with you. On the case of Nnamdi. The time, first of all, or how many years today? Why can't you people? Because that one who can make with it. Okay, wisdom. I never accept it until I see it. Because our people have always proven to me how smart, how educated, how intelligent they are, but none have proven to me how wise they are. Somebody asked me, that brings me to a very important topic. Somebody asked me the other day, who is my hero in Igbo land? We were in a group, he said, who is your hero? The other one said Ojuku. This one say, well, he's mentioning. He asked me, who is my hero in Igbo? I said, there is no hero. There has never been. Now, so many people will get me wrong. But if you can cool down, now let's just expand a little bit about heroism. There's different also, like we have the difference between smartness and wisdom and all other things that goes with education and wisdom. There is difference between a hero and a strong man. Somebody can be catastrophic. Somebody or Onike. Onike doesn't really mean you are a hero. Now, a hero is if you go for a cause, you achieve that cause, or you die to be a hero. If we had hero in Igbo land, I gave the person an example about this Europe we are living in. The children today are banking and rebuilding the position that was created to them by their heroes. That's why Annual Abrazio Sobia here. Because we didn't have a hero to provide for us a situation that we can build on. If we had a hero, we would not lose the war. Ojukwu is a strong man, he's a great man who fought, who is a hard man. But the qualification, a loser, he lost the war. You don't call somebody who lost a war a hero. I am sorry, I have all respect. That when I say it, people say, oh, you don't have, it's not what I'm saying at all. I'm keeping everything on their class. I don't exaggerate. I don't underestimate. We have so many examples to prove what the world today recognizes as hero. You see people, somebody will go to war from in those days of Iraq, America-Iraq war. He go, they send him on a mission, he go the first one, he fight in Iraq, fight, and come back. They don't, sometimes when he come back, they leave him on the street. He will go and so many of them will know that nothing. They start smoking their hemp on the street. Some of them become homeless. They have a lot of veterans like that in the United States. Don't doubt me. People who went to Iraq war who don't have where to sleep today. Now, they will send one person on the first trip, he comes back. Second trip, he comes back. But there is one person they will send on one trip, he dies there. Once he dies, they carry the coffin back and they give him a Medal of Honor. They give him straight. The family will be given Medal of Honor, heroism. Why? Because he died for the cause. This other person who have gone 4 or 5 times and come back with his life, they don't even give you, sometimes you become a homeless man on the street of the United States. Ask them, and that I told you. That's what is going on. That is how you identify hero. Okay, now, let's say again, if Ojukwu has gone to left the country, which is not also so bad to, okay, fight and run away, live to fight again another day, he never lived to fight again another day. But at the same time, he went, he came back, was pardoned, he had the opportunity to remain and die like a Biafran without involving himself into anything. He will still live a normal life, he will still be a rich man, he will be a respected man. He involved himself with politics. He died instead a Nigerian. Now I ask them, 3.5 million people, more or less, died within the Biafran war. These people who died, some of them were born, some people that were born within 1 year, they died. Some people within 6 months, they died. Some people within 2 years. Some people who were already older, who fought the war, died also within that time as Biafrans. Now, these people are in the grave. These people are the people we cry for every day. We really don't want them to be put to shame. We really want to finish the fight that they fought, they started. That is that making. The only thing that our own grandfathers left for us is the struggle. But these people are dead, their soul, their spirit, waiting for when Biafra will come. And all of a sudden, Ojukwu dies, the man who led them to die as Biafrans within the time of Biafra. And lo and behold, they know that he died as a Nigerian. What do you think? Do you think that those spirits now will be gathering and calling him the chief? If there is a spirit word, I want us to start thinking. Do you believe that those spirits of children, fathers, mamas, daddies, uncles, cousins that died as Biafrans will welcome Ojukwu, the man who led them to war and died a Nigerian? Do you believe that those spirits will be happy with him? I'm not saying anything bad about him. He's a strong man. He's a tough man. But he didn't attain the height of heroism. If he attended that height of heroism, we will be back home today building upon that very heroism. We will not today be searching for a hero again. Today, Nnamdi Kanu is a hero in the making. Today, Emeka Esiri is a hero in the making. Today, Benjamin Onwuka is a hero in the making. Today, a lot of other people who we don't know doing what they are doing underground or outside are heroes in the making. Now, what will justify the means is the result. And justify that very stamp of heroism. So many people, because our people are quick to be carried, they are calling them the hero at the point. When I say you don't do that, they say, oh, you're against him. I never said anything against anybody. I'm not supposed to be against anybody. Like I said, what we are trying now to do is to train ourselves to be for everybody, with everybody, acceptance to every group. But doing that also, we should now start to know how to think, not to push ourselves, not to be in a hurry, not to be emotional, not to be overtaken by I mean, there's something I believe. I've been in Europe now for about 25 years. Not much, but so too much also. In those days when I came here, if you're an Igbo man, you are in Germany or anywhere around the world. I noticed that I started from Ghana, from Cameroon, then Europe. I went to Holland. I stayed in France. I stayed in London. So I know a lot of places, and I've been interacting with some people around. I noticed that those days, if you, an Igbo man, wakes up in any room where you have different African nationalities, everybody respects you. Everybody wants to hear what has he got to say. Oh, he's an Igbo man from Nigeria. Wow. It was like how America was to the rest of the world. We were to the rest of Africa. They sit, they want to listen. But my brothers and sisters, do you believe that today Igbo man is the most hated person to stand up to make a comment where there are other nationalities? You know why? They have listened for too long. These other nations have listened for too long without proving that difference that we claim every time. Igbo man will say we are different. These people don't know anything. We sabi, we know this, we know that. They have been listening. They have been watching to see what makes these people different. Then I challenge my people, say, okay, I don't think these people found anything. That's why they are responding like this to us now. But people still keep claiming we are the best, we are the this. I say, okay, give me one reason. I feel it. As an Igbo man, in me, I feel it. I believe there is something different between me and every other half black man, even every other human being that are on the face of the planet. I believe that we, the Igbos, there is something in us that is quite wonderful, different. But the problem I'm having is that I've not been able to prove it with myself or to prove it with ourselves. Meaning I cannot pinpoint anything that an Igbo man has done that is different in style, in action, in the way than any other person around the world. It became a very big pleasure to me when I saw that we were still fighting for this freedom. I said, maybe that's why God lets this freedom for us to still fighting. That now we can show that we can do things in a very different way. That we can get our freedom in a way never ever imagined in the face of the planet before. In style that they never understood. But we are not still doing it. It's unfortunate. I believed, like what I said, with what I know, my little knowledge, with the people I worked with, the brainwork I saw, the people who can sit like this only in a table, 2, 3 people, they put 1, 2, 3, 4 together. When they put it down in action, it becomes millions and millions and millions. That brainwork was so marvelous. That brainwork was so fantastic. Although they called it crime, they labeled us the worst continent in the country in the whole world because of the Babangida time. But the brainwork that was existing, the brainwork that we invoked, the brainwork that we experienced, that is with us is a difference. That is a classic of its kind. The world looks at it as crime. In the time when they want to play us games, like on those days, Babangida said, if you come to do business through the backyard, you get a backyard treatment. We condemned our own president, although he's an Hausa man, in those days, because we want to be good in the eye of the international community. They can come to steal, but we cannot do anything against it. They convinced us that our man was bad, but their own people who come to steal in the first place and we are not bad. They labeled us most corrupt. But what I'm saying in this sense is that the brain work that our people developed, if we have the target on that time with that brain work was money. And we made the best of it. We are the best in the world in manipulating with the head. Forget about what the target is. What is the most important is what can we do with that piece of asset that God gave to us? That is intelligence. That is wisdom, not an artificial intelligence. The same wisdom that our people uprooted themselves from poverty, lifted themselves from having 20 pounds to becoming millionaires. When it became hard in a nation like Nigeria, we took up another wisdom and a lot of things were happening. But they leveled up force. Well, force, okay, I understand that was criminal. In the world, they want us to, we don't need to do it because all Ndocha. But I know those days, according to Babangida, also, don't do anything with a black man. Don't do anything with Nigeria. But these people, do them whatever you can when they come from the back way. But we condemn that man. That's a different topic anyway. But what I'm saying is, I still insist on that. The kind of wisdom that was applied, forgetting the target being money. If we change the focus of the target to be Biafran, if we can change the focus of our target of 419, if you don't understand what I'm saying, the brain applied to get, that is a film, Catch Me If You Can. The person who had that film, Catch Me If You Can, is Leonardo DiCaprio. That film is real life event of a man who is still living up to today. And I am telling you, that criminal man did a lot of things, did a lot of forgery. He was the most classic criminal they had in the United States. He did a lot of things, run around. If you watch, if you not seen the film, you go and watch it. You can type it online, Catch Me If You Can, acted by Leonardo DiCaprio. You see this is a real event that happened. The man who acted that is still in America. After he was dumped in, when he was caught, he was sent in prison. He was in prison, and the CIA saw a reason for him to be the only person with the IQ to help solve that kind of problem he was implementing. He was giving them. They called him, and today, that guy is working under the CIA as we speak. And he had helped the country to build the kind of relationship that they couldn't have. The kind of understanding in the investigation work that they couldn't have. He caught the criminals they needed at the time. So what I'm saying in essence is, it's a matter of changing the target. If our use of 419, our target was money, the good thing about it is that now we know the effectiveness of that very application. All we need to do is to change the target of that application to Biafra. Listen, I know that we don't need more. We only need maybe 20 men. 20 first-class head brain workers. Let all the groups tell them what they are working on. They will study the situation in Nigeria. They will study the situation about Biafra and the international community. They will study what the groups have if they can come together. Then they will give you oh boy. I don't know why we don't believe in this. And we call ourselves wise men. I don't know why we don't believe we are wise and we say we are. If we are wise, if we are the only chosen people of God, like they say, if we are the chosen ones of God, please, 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 This is a time we can show that there is something different we can do in a different style, in a way. Like I said, did you see how these people got their freedom? The water akwaka. Look at what these people just did. Look at the way these people just got their freedom. Before you know it, they're already there. It's possible. Don't tell me it's not possible. Don't tell me that you will give up. Yesterday I was also discussing with our people. I found out that a lot of people, our people who believe they are smart, who believe they even attach the word wisdom without knowing what it means, they have already given up. They just said, "Now wait if I hear me." Hey, God. You say, look at the problem, look at the problem, look at the problem. You emphasize the problem, you jog. Okay, what can we do? So, can you qualify here? If I hear, no, I start to wonder, I say, oh, but you have been here running your mouth of how wise, how smart, how everything we are different, and now, oh, we hear me. It is appalling to see our people in that mood. But everything can change. It only needs a change of heart, a change of mind, acceptance to one another. I am glad, like I say, I'm glad that our people are changing their style of disgrace and assault among ourselves, that now we are at least hearing. We only need to start accepting. So my people, God bless you all. I will continue to bring you the feedbacks on the meeting that is exceptional going on, that doesn't involve all these our leaders, but we really need them to be involved. And the only way is let you, me, him, them, brother, sister, mama, brother, papa, all of them, let us all belong to all those groups they put out there. Let us support them all. And you started by telling your leaders that that's the way to go about it. We have tried so many kinds of unity. It's not working. And you out there that think that your own group can do it before, I remind you the failures of your own group. So that you know that your group cannot do it alone. We need to be together. The greatest group that is out there is Nnamdi Kanu's group. They couldn't do it alone. How much more any other group? They called for Biafra to come 2015. We are in 2017. Who not walk again? It did not work. Not because they did not know what, because you were not among, because we all were not fighting the same cause. Or because they didn't have a target. So my brothers and sisters, I'll be leaving you people. I got somewhere to go. I will be meeting again. I hope that you will always be interested to listen to this gospel. My gospel is different. My own scripture is different from what you are hearing from everybody. I am the only person who has trouble with all the whole groups. I am the only person who has trouble with all the whole groups because I call them to meet one another. And once you say you don't want to meet your next brother, I have problem with you. I am one person who have studied all the ideologies. I am the one person who have been calling for peace, unity. I am the one person who have been doing anything. My own focus was how are we going to do it? And it has been a problem for me to understand why people are behaving the way they did. That I have problem with all the group leaders. But now I am telling you that I am ready to reconcile. I can call Radio Biafra if I know how to speak on, give my own opinion. I can, if Nadi will tell me but it's late. We can't go for a referendum, it's not going to be possible. But we can start building that strength. If you can relieve yourself of all these artificial enmities that we have caused for ourselves. Know that he's just your brother who you happen to have a different ideology about what is going on with. That's only what is happening. Now know that it's not even a reason for you to forget about him only. Just leave him there for his own idea let him go with his own idea. No, it's not even that. It's not even insulting him because he have a different idea. And it's not even leaving him to go with his own idea. It's now for you to accept his own idea, so that he can accept your own idea. Let's all accept all the ideas. Support it, not accepting by just blah blah. Email support. Let the groups start to support other groups. Thank you very much. God bless you all. Hope to be with you some other time.